All right, so step one is we need to get logged into Scratch. So in order to do that, you want to go in the course information folder on Schoology, and you'll see the Scratch sign up link here. When you click that, you'll see your period here, so make sure you click on it, and that will open up into this page so that we can get you started. You will see it says your teacher has invited you to join a class. So make sure the class is correct. So this is 2020, Geometry with Computer Science, period 3, and we want to get started. All right, when we create a username, well, first of all, let me just say, you do have to create a Scratch account. It says already have a Scratch account. So if you do already have one, you still need to create a new one to be part of the class. There's no way to take your old Scratch accounts and put them as part of the class. So you just do need to create a new one, even if you already have an account that exists. When you create a username, it needs to be something that is recognizable by your teacher so that we can grade your project. What typically I have students do is just put your email address, which is typically the first 5 of your last name, then the first 3 of your first name, followed by 000 or whatever those numbers are that are after it. This way your identity is still kept a little bit secret, but I can see that and I can grade you. And then you go ahead and need to put your password in there. Password can be whatever you want. I cannot see your password. If you ever forget your password, I can have you create a new one, but otherwise there's no way of like getting it back. So make sure it's something that you can remember so that you can log into this every unit for this class. After you're done, go ahead, you can hit next step. Obviously, I'm not going to create an account right now. And then the next step will just be to give it a little bit more information so we can get you into the class and get you started. All right, and when you do get logged in, you'll see a little something looks like this on the main page. You should see your account name up here, as well as kind of what's happening and whatnot. Not all this stuff will be filled out for you guys, obviously. But to get started, you want to click on Create right here to get started in a new Scratch. And once you open this up, this is going to look a lot like what was in the last video of what your screen looks like. Once again, you have your coding blocks over here, the ones you can use. You have the places that you'll drag your code to. And then you have your stage, what it's going to look like, as well as if we scroll down a little bit, your sprites. And if we scroll over, we have our stage information here. And once we have this set up, we're able to kind of go to work and actually code some stuff. All right, perfect. And I kind of changed my zoom here so that it all fits on one screen for me. So the first thing I want to kind of go over is just all these different blocks, what they do and how we can use them. So the motion one is going to be the thing that makes Scratch move. So if I want Scratch to move, I can just drag it here, move 10 steps. And you can see Scratch is going to move 10 steps over. If I want him to make a bigger move, I can just change this number to 100. And then he moves all the way 100 steps over there. I can also turn him if I want to. Boom. And now he's turning and moving at the same time. I can always hit stop to bring him back. And if he doesn't come back, I can always hit go to and change the coordinates of where he's going to start and change that to 0, 0. So now I can start with him here, and I can start with him just kind of turning in a circle and moving as he goes. But any of the motion blocks here will definitely change how things move along. All right, so the looks here are going to change kind of what the looks are going here. So we can switch the costume, and we can change Scratch to a walking cat or back to his first one. So you can see his legs here. Actually, here we go. So you can see his legs moving back and forth there. All right. You can also have Scratch say something if you wanted to. Boom. And we say it for 2 seconds. Remember, we can edit these blocks and we can type whatever we want here. And then we can do more stuff with changing his size. So we can set size to 100%. Or we can make him bigger and make him twice as big and set his size to 200%. And watch him hulk out there and grow. We can also change his color. Changing the color effect by 25 will just have a little bit of change on him. You see it says hello, and then he changes green. And we can do it again, and he'll change 25. But if we change this number, he's going to change more drastic in color. So we'll do 100. And now he turns blue and whatnot. So we can change this number based on how we want him to change. And then we can clear all the graphic effects if we wanted to, so that he goes back to normal after they make the change. And actually, I'm going to put it up here. So that the very first thing is it changes the graphic effects right away. All right, next block we have here are the sound blocks. Here you can make him meow. We'll see how long this goes. There you go. So you might have heard that meow. If not, it might have just been in my headphones. But yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with sound here. The next ones are going to be pretty important here. These are the events. This is when stuff is going to happen. So for example, we've been using this when green flag is clicked. Right? When the green flag is clicked, it's doing all the stuff we have it doing. We could also say when spacebar is clicked. So maybe when spacebar is clicked, we want him to go to a different position. So we'll just say, I don't know, 50 here. So I can start this up, but when I hit space key, that's when he moves. And he can keep moving there if I wanted him to. I'll change this back to 0, 0 just to get him back. Boom. We can also do some broadcasting messages, which we'll talk about later on in this course. All right, our control is where we're going to be able to kind of take some control over stuff. It's where we're going to be able to repeat. If we want to repeat something 10 times, if we want to repeat for forever, there's that forever block that I talked about. And then there's also waiting. So if you want stuff to pause a little bit as you go, you can do that if you wanted to. So for example, if we wanted to change Scratch's color, let me go back to looks here, and we'll change color effect by 25. And you'll see that what will happen in forever is that he'll change, we'll pause, changes color, pause, changes color, pause. And so you can see that every second he changes a new color, going down the color scale, slightly changing it by that 25 until I press stop, and then it stops. All right, we have the sensing here, which is going to be where we're able to ask questions and kind of create some variables here if we needed to, or when two sprites can interact. So they might touch each other. So here we might have the edge of the drawing, or it could be touching another sprite that's in the game. Operators. This is where you can do some math with any of the things that we need to. A lot of math blocks here. One of the most important ones is down here, and it's got a lot of different functions in here as well. Square root is one that we'll be using for sure, but you can add and subtract, multiply, divide, anything, as well as pick a random number. So this is kind of going to be helpful. And you can see this block is shaped as an oval, so it's going to go in an oval opening. So I can move this in here, and now we can have Scratch move a random number from anywhere from, we'll say 20 to 100. You'll see something like that was a small move. That was a big move. Right? Big move, small move, small move. So it's really picking that random number. And then variables is also going to be an important thing. We're not going to get to that quite yet either. But creating a variables to represent a number, just like in math, that's going to be an important area to go here too. All right, so those are kind of the blocks that we've got going on over there. And let's talk about some of the other features of Scratch. So first of all, if we wanted to add a different sprite, so if we don't want Scratch to be our sprite, we can go here to choose a sprite, and we can select whatever we want. There's plenty of them here. I'm going to select a ball. The reason I selected our ball is because remember, our end goal here is to create those 10 circles that randomly fill up the screen. And the balls are pretty close to a circle here. So that's going to be an important thing. In fact, I don't even need Scratch for that. So I'm going to click on Scratch here, and I'm going to click this for show. I'm going to hide him so that he's disappeared. And now my ball is all we need, and is what we want here. And in fact, we don't want one ball. Remember, we want 10 of them. So there's actually a block here in control, which is going to be create a clone of myself so that I can create a clone and keep creating different balls. If we wanted to change the background, we could just click that here, and we could kind of pick whatever background we want to for this project. Maybe we'll use Raise. It's simple and gets the job done as well. So we've got that there. Remember, with looks here, we can also do stuff like change the background, switch backdrop, and next backdrop here. So I've given you just a quick tutorial of Scratch and how it works. Now it's up to you guys to see if you can figure out that project and see if you can figure out how to put 10 randomly placed balls or circles on the screen. You want to make sure that they change location, they change size, and they change color as they randomly get put on the screen. All right, and the extra challenge here is to do it, it took me 8 blocks. So try and do it in 8 blocks and see if you can make this work. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And once you have it finished and you have your program working, we can go here to see project page, and this is going to be the overview of it. Anytime you turn something in, you want to make sure that you title it. So we'll call this the Unit 1 project if you want. You should give some instructions about what it does. So when the program starts. Okay, so something like when the program starts, 10 randomly colored and randomly sized balls will show up on the screen in random locations. So you can have that, notes and credits if you want to put anything here. But then you're going to have a section here for, sorry, we got to share it first. So go up here to share it. And then you'll have an option here to add to Studio. And when you're doing this, you want to be able to make sure that you add it to, let's see if I have it. Yeah. So you guys won't see very many studios like this, but you want to add it to the Unit 1 project studio that you see by hitting the plus sign. And once you hit it, it's added that studio. You see the green check mark, and you can click OK. All right, I'm going to unselect it just for this fact. But there you go. So that's how you'll turn it in, and that's how we'll be able to see it as well. So make sure you do that. So just remember, as you're watching this video, feel free to go back into it as you're trying to create your challenge and trying to create this here so that it will work.